All right, welcome back to another Auto Care Association Executive Update. I'm Stacy Miller, Vice President of Communications here at Auto Care Association. I'm here with Bill Hanvey, President and CEO of the Auto Care Association, and we just got back from, dare I say, what might be the best AAPEX ever. So, Bill, we want to hear all about it from you, and I heard we had some special guests this year.
We sure did, Stacy. And for those of you that are watching or listening, welcome back to your home environs as we spent a week in Las Vegas at our industry's homecoming. To your point, Stacy, every year gets better and bigger and more expansive and hopefully more manageable for everybody. And you're right. We had this year we really are leaning into that industry homecoming theme, and we had the very good fortune of having the Automotive Parts Services Group, otherwise known as APSG, join us for their national conference. We had ATRA, the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association. They brought in their constituency for their trade show and subsequent training, so that was successful. The TIA, the Tire Industry Association, also had their event while we were at AAPEX, and I was fortunate enough to be a guest speaker on their efforts for Right to Repair. So we're really beginning to see this groundswell of what we envisioned several years ago of AAPEX really becoming the industry homecoming.
Yeah, and we had lots of special events this year, everything from Women in Auto Care to the import vehicle community, the Young Auto Care Network group. Shout out to APSG for probably the most epic 80s party ever. We had a fantastic time. Bill, were there any events that you wanted to give a shout out to or that you really enjoyed the most?
Well, all of which they mentioned, Stacy. Women in Auto Care, record number of attendees at the breakfast, really good content, and the support and the education that community provides to its constituency it's just amazing. They had their awards ceremony in addition to their breakfast, along with a reception. The import vehicle community also had their fabulous networking reception. They had a wonderful luncheon where they honored many of their members with awards. And to bring it home, Yang was just incredible in terms of the partnership with APSG, keeping it up late on a Wednesday night. But we really believe that our communities have just grown significantly over the past several years, and that's evidenced by their turnout in AAPEX, and really their engagement in the industry is critical to our success.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. And speaking of record attendance, we know that we're going to get some record-breaking numbers this year, but we were so excited to bring a feature back this year post-COVID, and that was our international constituency and Caesars Forum. So tell us a little bit about the turnout there.
So it was a very good success in terms of segmenting our international exhibitors or our pavilion exhibitors in the new Caesars Forum space. We had over 1,000 exhibitors there. Traffic was good from what we understood, but it's still a learning process in terms of making sure that everybody knows that this valuable segment of our show is available. For those of you that did not see it, it's a beautiful space. And the exhibits were laid out nicely and congruently. So really just a nice addition to the show. And by us moving the international pavilions to Caesars, it allows us to expand Joe's Garage on the lower level of the Venetian Convention Center. So we saw tremendous growth in Joe's Garage as well, which has been our plan. So really good. Always open for feedback in terms of how we could get more people to visit Caesars Forum next year, but overwhelmingly positive results thus far on our transition to having two exhibit spaces.
Yeah, I took a couple steps down there as well and was really impressed by the layout. Really great feedback from those exhibitors, and we're looking forward to seeing that expand.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Joe's Garage expansion, which everybody seems really excited about. Every year we've got more bays, more technicians, more demonstrations, and one of the features that we bring each year in partnership with MEMA are our annual e-commerce and electric vehicle forecasts. So tell us a little bit about maybe the highlights from that.
Sure, and Stacy, Apex is also another opportunity for us to educate the marketplace. And two of those topics, the electrification of the vehicle park, if you will, and our the e-commerce channel, both of which have lent themselves to considerable study. And Mike Chung from our team and the MEMA team did a great job putting together another update on electrification in the U.S. VIO. Obviously, for those of you that were not there, we're seeing a pretty significant decline in terms of the initial forecast on EV adoption. So no surprise to many of you, but it just goes to show that the consumer is the boss here. And on the e-commerce study, again, significant inroads for e-commerce, which lends itself to making sure that if you're a supplier, distributor, whatever role you play in the industry, having that product data information as best you can really lends itself to a better online experience to the consumer. So very happy with the results of those two studies, and we're going to be doing subsequent webinars for those of you that weren't able to join us at the show to give you a consolidation of those studies.
Exactly. And for anybody looking for those reports, you can visit autocare.org/EV or autocare.org/ecom, and you can obtain those. Those are free for members. That is included in your membership. Now, one of the things that you said in your keynote Tuesday morning that I absolutely loved was in relation to these reports and the data coming out of them is that we're really entering the golden age of the aftermarket, right? So the EV adoption is slowing, which means, we're continuing to produce ICE parts, hybrid parts. We're still going to be preparing for EVs, and e-commerce is increasing.
Yes.
So all of this means more part sales, more opportunities for the aftermarket, lots of growth. And in order to fuel that growth, it's really imperative that we focus on workforce, and
Yes.
the next generation is our responsibility. So tell us a little bit about what are our initiatives going into 2025. I hear that we have three big ones, and obviously they're increasingly important after the election.
Yeah, we do, Stacy. And, we've talked about technician shortage and talent shortage in our industry for a very long time. And now it's time to do something about it. And what the Auto Care Association is fully committed to is, from a legislative standpoint, is to identify some key states that we can work with to develop apprenticeship programs like we've done in Maryland already. And in order to educate young men and women about the viability of a career in automotive technology. And not just to spur their interest, Stacy, but to ensure that they have financial backing, similar to if you were applying for a four-year school, making sure that you're eligible for financial aid, that you have a network in place where you can go and evaluate apprenticeship programs, so on and so forth. So we're absolutely taking a very proactive role in apprenticeship programs, similar to what they do in Europe, and also working on a federal level to ensure that the financial aid is on par with a young man or woman who's applying to a four-year school. And our primary sponsor of the Right to Repair Act, Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez from Washington State, has been reelected. And another one of her main initiatives is, no surprise, is that workforce development is really critical for her too. So we'll be working a lot with her and her team to help implement that on a federal level.
We're really, really, really looking forward to that. And, speaking of right to repair, obviously everybody wants the right to repair update. We didn't get that bill to the floor for a vote in this Congress, but we have a new Congress coming in January. So what can we expect come inauguration?
So, Stacy, good question. And now that we know the results of the election, which is a clean sweep by the Republicans, we have to go back and we have to develop a new strategy for the upcoming Congress and the new administration. So, for those of you that were there at AAPEX, you heard our commitment on Tuesday morning to continually pursue right to repair at a federal level. We will do that. Our strategy may change in terms of some of the players that we may engage on this, but that is a key initiative for us going forward.
Absolutely. And then I think the third thing that we're really hyper-focused on is the Trump administration's policies on tariffs and trade. So
Right.
we want to be in close step with them to figure out how we can make sure that those policies don't negatively affect our member companies.
Right, and Stacy, we all know that we're a global industry. We make products around the world, we import them, we export them. So it's really critical for us to gain an ear with the administration, for them to understand the ramifications of significant tariffs on products that are sold within our industry. Mm-hmm. So what we'll be doing first is obviously identifying areas in which the administration is seeking to either increase tariffs or develop new tariffs, develop a plan to say here's how this would affect our industry. For example, if a 25% increase in a tariff was applied to a brake pad, for example, what would that mean downstream ultimately to the consumer, so that we can paint a good picture to those in Congress or to those in the administration to say that here is how these specific tariffs will affect consumers who are going to have a brake job done, for example, to put that in black and white.
There's a lot for us to follow. It's the end of the year. People think we're winding down, but we're just getting started. So Auto Care Association has your back. We're preparing our strategies for 2025. We're celebrating a fantastic AAPEX, but we're looking forward to evolving the show and also working with the new administration to better the industry and to better our member companies. So, Bill, I want to thank you for taking the time. I also want to provide a reminder to everybody that to stay the most up to date on what's going on at the association, how we're working for you, and how you can get involved. One, follow us on social media. So we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter or X, we're on Instagram, and coming soon, we have a YouTube channel, and we're evolving that presence, and we're really looking forward to seeing your feedback on the content. So all you have to do is search Auto Care Association, and you can find us. And number 2 is to listen to our podcast, Auto Care on Air, and you can search that on any platform where you listen to your podcasts. Bill, thank you again so much.
My pleasure, Stacy.